around with the straight hair again. I low-key feel like I have a wig on when it's so straight. So again, I already have my base on, which is foundation, concealer, as well as my brows. I'm just gonna quickly walk you through the products that I use. So for foundation, I use my NARS Natural Radiant Foundation. This is in the color Tahoe. Absolutely love this foundation. It's honestly one of my holy grails. I really need to go and repurchase another one because this one is practically done. And for concealer, I actually went back into my Tarte Shade Tape. This is in the color Tan Sand. Love this concealer. And to set my under eyes as well as my entire face, I use the Huda Beauty Loose Setting Powder. The shade that I use is in the color Banana Bread, I believe. I'm going to move on to bronzer because my face is very flat and like one shade. So I am going to be using a lot of the Jaclyn Hill brushes that they just came out with. So for bronzer, I'm going to be using the GH02 brush, and I'm going to be going into my Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D. Of course, I'm going to be using the middle shade here. And just really quickly bronzing at my face. For contour, I'm changing brushes here, and I'm going into the GH07 brush. I'm pretty sure she uses this for highlight, but for me personally, I have my own highlighting brush that I love, so I'm going to use this to contour, and I'm going to be mixing the lightest shade as well as the darkest shade in the Kat Von D palette. I'm also taking a little bit under my lip, in my Cupid's bow, and just kind of like lightly dusting it on my nose just to bring some color and dimension to my nose. Alright, moving on to blush. I'm actually going to be dipping into my BoxyCharm that I got this month, and this month is September, just in case you're watching this like 2 years from now. So I'm not going to be using everything that I got in this month box, but I am going to be using most of the stuff. So I did get a blush from Laura Geller. This is their Baked Blush. This is in the shade Tropic U. This is one of those blushes that has shimmer in it, which is honestly something that I don't really gravitate towards, but since I have it in the box, I might as well try it. So I'm going to be using the GH04 brush. I do think that if you do have texture on your cheeks, this is something that you may not necessarily like. It might emphasize your texture. It's nice. It's definitely not something that I would go out and purchase myself, but this is why I love BoxyCharm, because you get to use products that you would probably never purchase yourself. Alright, let's move on to highlight, as if I'm not already highlighted enough. I'm going to be using my Ofra Cosmetics Beverly Hills highlighter, and I'm going to be mixing the pink shade as well as the gold, and I'm going to be using my Milani highlighting brush for this. Alright, face is done. I'm going to go in and set everything, and I'm using my Milani Make It Last setting spray. Alright, now I'm going off camera and doing one of my eyes, and I'm going to come back with you guys. Alright, you guys are nice and zoomed in, so obviously you can tell we're doing a very cool tone cut crease, which is very not me. But the first thing that we're going to be doing is putting a little bit of tape. So in my BoxyCharm, I got the Nightingale palette from Pretty Vulgar, and this is what this looks like. Again, this is very cool tone and very much not me, but this is why I love BoxyCharm, because I get to use things that I would never ever purchase. And I probably would never purchase this because it's so cool tone. We also got a brush set from the brand A La Mer. Alright, so using her big blending brush, I'm going to be picking up the shade Hide and Seek. And I'm placing the shadow in my upper crease area, bringing it all the way in my inner corners, as well as making sure that it extends to that tape. Now moving on to my GH31 brush, I'm going to be picking up the shade Break Free, and I'm placing the shadow directly under our transition shade. I'm going back into the first brush we used with a little bit of Hide and Seek. I'm going to blend out this edge that I see right here. Alright, now to deepen up that crease more, I'm going into my GH40 brush, and I'm going to be picking up the shade called Swoop. I'm placing the shadow directly into my crease, definitely keeping it much tighter. I'm going to go back in with that second brush we used and a little bit of Break Free, and I'm going to use that to buff out this edge a little bit more. Now what I'm going to do is go into the A La Mer brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of concealer and cut out this crease. Pray for me. So I'm just going to wipe this brush off on a little towel that I have here, and I'm going to be picking up the color Clutch with it. And I am wetting my brush just a little bit. Now I'm taking the last A La Mer brush that we have, and I'm going to be taking up the black, which is All Nighter, and I'm going to be doing a kind of smoky wing liner. I'm just first stamping the shadow and then dragging it out to that tape. As you can tell, I'm extending this liner and making sure that it touches and connects with my cut crease up here. And I'm going to be taking that black shadow and just lightly dragging it up, using a little pencil brush here and buffing it out with no additional product. Alright, so I just take that tape off. Now you have that nice, clean, crisp line. I'm going to go in with a little bit of black liner for my waterline. I'm taking a pencil brush here, which is the GH38 brush, and picking up a little bit of Break Free and just running that on my lower lash line. I am bringing this shadow a little bit lower than I normally do. And then with a smaller pencil brush, this is the GH39, picking up a little bit of Swoop and blending this a little bit closer to my lower lash line. And then lastly, going in with that very tiny brush and a little bit of All Nighter, which is the black, really closely packing it on my lower lash line. Alright, now for my brow bone inner corner highlight, I'm picking up the shade Break Free. Finally, eyes are officially done. I'm going to go off camera and apply some lashes and mascara. These are from J Lash. These are their faux mink, and my favorite as of right now are in the style Zoe. Alright, eyes are officially done. I'm going to go in and line my lips now. I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild gel lip liner in the color Lay Down the Mauves. I'm actually just taking the lip liner and filling my lips in just a little bit. And then for lipstick, I'm going to be taking my Makeup Forever Artist Cream Lipstick. This is in the shade C107. I'm actually just going to apply it in the center of my lip. And then just kind of use my finger and tap out the edges. So this is the end of the look. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope you guys were able to see how the Jaclyn Hill brushes actually performed. And if you guys personally want to go out and purchase it, I think that they are worth buying and they are worth every single penny, but that is just my opinion. So I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!